Hey everyone, welcome back to the IHC Craft Room. Today we're keeping the spooky vibes going with another project in the Spooky Season live series. I'm making a 10-ounce cauldron candle using this super cute little mug. Isn't this cute? I got it on Amazon and I keep going, you know what? I just wish it was the same on this side, but whatever. I'm just being difficult. I love it. It's so cute. Okay, so we're going to be using this as our vessel today. And obviously some container soy wax, as you can see here. And we're just going to make ourselves a candle. So let's get started. And we'll keep it. I'm immediately making a mess. So that's a good start. It's a good start. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for now because I want to measure my wax first. So this is a 10-ounce mug, but we're going to call it a cauldron. So it's a 10-ounce cauldron. And I want to fill it as much as I can. And I'd like to do a 10% fragrance load. So we're going to be using, or I'm going to be measuring out 258 grams of wax. And then we're going to need 26 grams of fragrance oil. Okay, so here we go. Scoop. I'm going to protect my scale with, not this, with a piece of parchment paper and a paper towel because I spill things literally all the time. Okay. I'm going to be using a pour pot for this because we're using the double boiler method and I have my water boiling nicely over here. I hope I have enough of it in there. Okay, so always remember to zero out your scale so that you don't include the weight of the pour pot in there. And the easiest way to do that is either to put the pour pot on your scale before you turn it on, or once you put it on and you see that the weight is there, just zero it out and you're good to go. So as I said, we're going to be using 258 grams of wax. So let's party. All right, beautiful. Right on the money. So let's get this out of here so I don't cause another mess because I'm really good at that. Okay, awesome. Okay, you in here, toodaloo. Get melty. Now we're gonna measure our fragrance oil, which is where you really want to make sure you're ready and prepared because that can get messy in a hurry. Okay, so today, same deal here. I'm going to zero out my scale to make sure I don't include the weight of the vessel. This is a 5-ounce measuring glass. How did I get wax inside of it? Seriously? How? You know what? I don't want to talk about it. Let's just pretend that never happened, okay? Everything's fine. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Okay. Everything's fine. Today, we're going to be using a new fragrance oil from Village Craft and Candle called Vanilla Amberwood. This is a really interesting fragrance because it's vanilla, which is sweet, but the amberwood gives it a really smoky like fragrance, and it is very lovely. I really enjoy this. So have a look at the Village Craft and Candle website. In fact, I'll link it in the description later. And if you use code IHC5 at checkout, you can get 5% off on your purchase as well. So don't forget to do that because who doesn't want 5% off of something? All right, here we go. We need 26 grams of fragrance oil. Right? Oh, too much, Mary, too much. That's okay. That's what we have pipettes for. So I'm going to suck a little bit of this out. I barely took anything. I love pipettes, man. They are super useful. I use them quite a lot and they're cheap. which is always appreciated over here. All right, good. 26 grams is what we want. So we are good to go. I'm going to set this aside. And anywhere I'm going to be using liquid dye or fragrance oil, you will see parchment paper so that I can protect my tabletop. Again, reminder, very clumsy over here. Okay, so I'm going to put the fragrance oil aside because we don't need that anymore. Okay. How are we doing with the wax over here? Okay, we're doing pretty good. It's melting quite nicely. The water is controlling itself. Okay, good. So I'm going to move this out of the way for right now, but we are going to prepare our vessel first. I mean, again, can you just, isn't it just the, look at these little feet. Like, I can't. They're so cute. It's the cutest. I'm like, okay, I know I'm too much. It's okay. Everything's fine. Let me just take my glove off because a rubber glove and Wick stickum is a bad situation for Mary. Okay. It always has been in the past, at least. I'm going to be using a medium crackling wood wick. This is an old pack that I got from Village Craft and Candle. They call it something different now. They call it something based on the thickness of the wick itself. But if you look on their product page, it says formerly medium crackling wood wick. So you can still find this if you search by that. Or if you're trying to just confirm. Depending on how fast this melts, I'm going to melt some pillar and we'll work on our toppers as well at the same time. We'll see. If we don't have time for that, we'll do it after. Okay, so usually when I work with wood wicks, it's my preference to like roughly cut it to where I think it's going to need to be, so that I'm not dealing with like this flagpole in the middle. Because again, clumsy. So I'll ping it by accident and cause chaos. But however, because for this one, I'm not really sure how high my 10 ounces is going to go. And I want to put some of these toppers on top. I'm going to actually leave my wood wick at its full length. And then I'll cut it down after I put my toppers on and I have an idea of how big I need the wick to be. All right. I was cleaning the bottom of this in case it's dirty. Give this a really good smush down. That wax is melting quickly. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do my... Oh, you know, I should have put the wick in first. That was silly of me. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this right now. Seriously. Okay. Take two. Be smarter next time. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put this wick. Yeah, because it is not easy to get these wicks in here. You got to push it down. But then at least you know it's in there, bro. It's in there. Okay, wick stickum. Let me get this roll out of my face because it's bothering me. Oh yeah, this wax is melting fast. All right, I think we're going to be doing the melts afterwards. We'll see. Okay, move you out of the way. You're garbage. All right, take two. So clean off the bottom. It's going to be the biggest challenge I always have is finding the center of the base of the vessel. Mostly because I just don't trust myself enough when I'm doing it. Confidence goes a long way. And I don't really have a lot of confidence in me finding the center of something. Which I can prove to you from if you watch my Grim Reaper mandala where I didn't place it perfectly in the center. And then had to deal accordingly. But it's all good. I figured it out in the end. All right, here we go. I'm going to say that this is, hey, Is that the middle? No, it doesn't look like it's the middle. Also, something to keep in mind is, oh boy, look at it. It is cooking. It is melting. Okay, focus, Mary. You want to make sure that your wick is positioned like vertically or horizontally the way you want. And since we're going to be burning it so that we can see the witch's brew, I want it to be this way, parallel with the handle. Okay, chill out, bro. Chill. I can't really tell if I got the middle or not, so we're going to go with it. I'm going to push this down using my silicone stir stick, which is not easy to do, actually, because it's too floopy. Are we almost done? Oh, my goodness. The wax is almost melted. This is hopping. Okay. I'm just going to push that down really well to make sure that the wick stickum adheres to the base of the mug. Okay, I don't need you anymore. You're going to go here. Awesome. We are almost there, folks. Holy moly patoli. 190. That's plenty. Okay, off with you. So before we go any further, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to move this out of here so that I don't have to be paranoid about it. Toodaloo. We no longer need you. I'm actually going to be melting the pillar wax for these guys in the microwave. So, or I might use a magic wand. You'll never know. You'll really never know. Okay, here we go. So we're going to mix in our fragrance oil. 188. We're far past where we need it to be. So you need to melt container soy wax to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Tell me where this random soy, like, really? Ugh. What is, it's like styrofoam. Have you ever noticed that about styrofoam when you buy like a package and it's wrapped in styrofoam or it sits in a styrofoam shell of some kind? All right, we're going to dump the fragrance oil in there. I'm also going to put a napkin down just in case. Let's switcheroo. So it's now 10:12 a.m. and I have to stir this for 3 minutes. Why stir that much? I'm so glad you asked. Because you really, I can't say really enough, want the wax and the fragrance oil to bind together. And one of the first ways to ensure that that happens is to stir for 3 minutes so that the soy wax and the fragrance oil have a chance to become friends. They get to know each other. And before you know it, they're besties for life. And ultimately, the reason why this matters is because you want to have a solid and consistent scent throughout the entirety of your candle from first burn to last burn. So that is something that you're going to need to, in my opinion, there's like 2 ways that what you can do to ensure that that happens. Number 1 is this. Make sure that you heat your oil to the right temperature. Your wax needs to be melted to at least the temperature that it says. Try not to go so far over like I did. And you need to stir for about 3 minutes. That will get it all together. And then after you pour, you have to let your candle cure for at least 10 days with soy wax. Does that mean you can't light your candle before 10 days? Of course you can. You can light your candle as soon as your wax solidifies, if you really want to. I mean, I'm pretty sure no one's going to break down your door and arrest you. But what do I know? Not a lawyer. Definitely not a lawyer. I might argue like one, but I am not a lawyer. But Yeah, your best bet is make sure you stir for a long time, thoroughly, 3 minutes, and then let it cure for 10 days. And Bob's your uncle. So I'm using a crackling wood wick because I just think it's such a cute idea to have a cauldron that sounds like it's on a flickering like fire. How cute. Because the crackle from a wood wick cannot be compared. It's really that good. If you've never tried a wood wick, I recommend. Highly recommend. It's a good time. So in terms of the size of my wick, I chose a medium crackling wood booster because the diameter of my vessel is about 3 inches over here. In the base of the shape of the can, you can see that it's actually larger than that. It's probably more like 4 inches. But the heat that it's going to kind of trap by this closed-in neck, I think will work to melt that extra wax along the edges. And we don't want the heat to get too strong because it's a mug. It's not designed for candle making. It's designed for hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. All right. That's 10:15. So that's been 3 minutes. Muy bueno. Now, before we pour, first let's see. 146. That's good. Okay, we're going to add some fragrance oil. No, we already did that. We're going to add some liquid dye. And I want it to be like a almost neon green leaning into yellow. So I think we'll start with equal parts green and yellow. And then I'll maybe add a little yellow to go because I don't want the green to dominate. I want a neon green. Let's just move on. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, there's nothing in here. Okay, that was 2. 3, 4. Okay, we'll do 4 green. I got liquid dye on my gloves. I don't think that's ever happened before. Look at that. Experiencing a first on a live. Isn't that lovely? Another perfect moment of showing you that I am very good at getting myself messy. Okay, so that was 4 green, and now we're going to do 4 yellow. This time I'm going to be smart enough to get some in the dropper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see how that looks. I'm not going to leave that open because we all know what's going to happen. Okay. So same goes with like liquid dye. You do want to stir it for a long while as well, at least a couple minutes. But before I go any further, I want to make sure it's like mostly stirred through, like thoroughly, so that I can check the color of it. And the best way to check the color of it is to drop it on a piece of paper. Okay, that's nice. I like that color. That's like a nice, vibrant, bright green. I don't even think we need to go any more yellow. I like it. Okay, we're going to let it dry because it's going to look different once it's solidified. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep stirring. Before I pour into the vessel, though, I want to scoot. Okay, I want to make my bubbles because I want to put some bubbles on the top of the... Isn't this mold so cute? I got both of these from Amazon. Totally different vendors, different suppliers, but like I got them from Amazon. I just love these little bubbles. And it actually came with another mold that's kind of like this one that is like a bubble trim, I guess. Anyway, it's super cute. Okay, that's basically dry, and I am very pleased with the color. So I'm going to leave it. We're not adding anything more. I'm just going to, I'd say we've probably stirred for a couple minutes at this point. Am I just being impatient? Probably. That would also be typical of me. Isn't that strange, though, eh? How I could be so impatient about something like stirring, and then I can dot paint very patiently. Clearly, Mary doesn't like to stir. Okay. I am pleased with this at this point. Okay, I'm going to use my pipette. I don't need you. Okay. Oh, immediately missed where I wanted to go. I doubt I'm going to need that little one. This one's a good size. This one's a good size. Those are probably the ones I'm going to use. Oh, ooh, I really filled that one, bro. Well, just empty it. That little one that I did first is almost dry already. Awesome. Wonderful. I am pleased. I think these are full enough. They end up dipping a little bit. That's why I'm like, Okay, that's good. So now we can pour the main candle, and then I'm going to pour the toppers because I think it's going to look so cute with like a skull and a little bat and then some of these bubbles. It's going to look super cute. Super cute. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if 10 ounces is to overflow or if it's going to be too little. That is the perfect amount. That is exactly where I would want this candle to end. Or beauty. Mi piace. As a general rule, when I am making a candle, I will try to wipe out things as I go so that I don't have to go through the nightmare later of using my heat gun to clean this. I'll still clean it. I'm still going to wash it with soap and water once we're done here, but there's literally no wax left in here for me to be dealing with, which is, you're welcome, Mary from the future. High five to you. This isn't warm at all. Okay, so I can put this aside now. I didn't even realize I put the candle on the pot. That's funny. Okay, I'm actually going to move this out of the way as gently as possible. Beautiful. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Pillar soy wax. I don't think I'm going to need much. I'm not even going to measure it. I'm just going to melt a bit. So let's see. I'm going to do this in the microwave real quick. And we're not mixing a lot, so I'd rather not have to melt twice, so we'll see. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the microwave, which is 2 feet away from me. We're going to let that melt for a minute so that we can pour. So with that in mind, I don't need you anymore either. Let's take a minute to tidy up a little more. I'm always really careful with fragrance oil because this is so concentrated. Like, it is no joke. Okay, so you skedaddle. I don't need red or not. What red? There's not red here. I don't need yellow or green, so you guys can move. I've got black and a little shot glass that I'm going to mix my black in. But I'm going to use my... Okay. This is already almost cured. Okay, let me go give that a stir. I got to put on my microwave. Okay, I'm putting it in for one more minute there with my heat save glove. I'll tell you, one of my viewers, Peggy, she gave me this tip really early into me starting my YouTube channel. In one of my first candle making videos, when I was warning viewers about being careful with the handle being so hot when you're manipulating it. And she said, well, why don't you get yourself some heat resistant gloves? And I don't know why I never thought of it. And they're super cheap. I got a pair from Michael's for, well, I think their normal price like $10, but you know my usual song when it comes to Michael's, wait for the 30 and 40% off coupons, because hello, you could get two for almost the price of one. Anywho, let's move this into place. Did I find another bead of wax right now? Seriously, it really is like styrofoam. I'm not impressed. Okay, you come with me. Okay, so right now this is the third full minute that I'm putting it in the microwave for. Let me just tidy up a little bit. So what's that? Is that? It's not water. Oh, it is water. Do I not have a paper towel? Here we go. Sometimes that double boiler gets a little too enthusiastic. Oh, wow. This whole thing is... Oh, I'm not going to use that one anyway, but still. I'm not using a witch's hat. It's a little too much. Plus, it's so thin. This mold is not meant for wax. This mold is meant for chocolate. But whatever. It'll do its job. It will do nicely. And we'll pipe that ready. Let's see. Are we melted enough yet? Oh, it seems we might be. Oh. Okay, so this is Pillar soy wax that we're using. This is Pillar soy wax that we're using for this because Pillar soy wax is designed for like freestanding candles and stuff. So it has a lot more, it's stronger. So when you put it in a mold like this, it makes it easier. I mean, it's not to say you're not going to still crack one, but like to not pop off these spider legs. How creepy would that be? And like these little intricate pieces. I haven't tried to make the pumpkin yet, so I'm not sure if this little swirly mabob would even come out or the tip of the hat. But it'll definitely help me to demold the bat and the spider, which is what I'd like to do first. So I'm going to do a couple of skulls and a couple of bats, I think, and a spider. So let me do my black first. Oh, wait. Oh, see, I almost did something so stupid. So typical of me. But I stopped just in time. Bravo, Maria. Okay. So I really don't need much black because I'm only doing the bat in black. But I got to be careful and move fast because this will start solidifying in a hurry. 1, 2. Now we'll do 3. 3 is overkill. It's black. It's going to be very black. But, I mean, I don't want a gray bat. I feel like that's creepier. Oh, boy. This is messy. Calm down. I'm starting to aggressively. See, it's because of the time crunch. I'm just like, fast, fast, go fast. Go faster. Why aren't you going faster? Usually, I would stir this for like a year and a half to make sure that it like blends really well with the wax. But again, time crunch. So instead of 2 minutes, we're going to do less than 30 seconds. That is quite a downgrade. But I don't want my other wax to melt. Oh, shoot. Do not splatter. You're going to be messy. All right, here we go. That was good. I almost got a full one out of that. And you definitely got to work fast with wax in a pipette because the pipette itself will just start filling or solidifying, and then you won't be able to get it out of the bottom. Let's see if I can do the spider without, no, I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going to just shove it in there. You get in there. Give me my spider legs. I want my baby back, baby. Okay, stop. All right, and I'm going to do one more. Let's do a bat freehand, see how that goes without the pipette. Well, you didn't need to be so extra with the pipette then, did you, Mary? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's actually empty, so that worked out well in terms of color, like the amount per color. All right, skull, here we go. Lovely. I want one white spider. Oh, goody. There's a hair floating in it. Ew. I think that's never happened in my life. I think it's actually an eyelash. I'm wearing glasses. How? Whatever. Moving on. So this is only going to be able to hold one of these skulls, but I don't have a problem with a little overkill, and I have a little bit left. So let's do a white pumpkin so I can test my theory about the swirly guy. How is it going to even get in there? Use a toothpick. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Now I just made it get, okay, who cares? It's fine. It's fine. So I'm going to stop pouring these because I don't really need them. And this doesn't have any fragrance. So I'm not even going to use them as melts, really. I could use them as more toppers for other Halloween projects. Actually, I could use them as toppers for other projects. So let's keep pouring. Let's keep pouring. How about a white bat? Are there such things? I kind of hope not, because I feel like it would be cute if it was white. And then I'd end up getting rabies. Because I'll see a white bat and be like, oh my God, it's so cute. I don't think I'd find them cute. They're kind of scary looking in person. Not that I'd have ever seen one here in the province of Ontario, not in a town. I mean, I'm not in the country by any means. So, all right. Should I try to make the hat? Let's make some hats. Let's just pour as many as I can, I guess. See, it's kind of hard with the spout is very useful, but I'm a little spazzy. If I had realized how low I was on wax, I wouldn't have started this hat, but maybe. Turns out I had just enough. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to let these cure. The toppers I'm going to have to cure for at least a full day. Or you could pop them out probably within a few hours, but to be on the safe side, I would let these guys cure for at least 4 to 12 hours. For me, I'll just demold them tomorrow morning. Personally, that's the plan. So let's scoot you guys out of the way. And I actually pre-made one of these so that we can complete this candle. So here are some bubbles. Look how cute the bubbles turned out. I mean, they're green, so it's a little booger-esque, but let's, keep in mind the vibe we're going for here. Okay, I don't think I'm going to need gloves for this. Now, full disclosure, this is a bigger candle. I didn't know that when I ordered this mug, but I have a pink obsession. So when I saw this, I was like, you must be mine, because how cute. And this one is on both sides, which made me even happier. However, this is a bigger candle. It's a 13 ounce. And the full disclosure that I want to share is that I forgot to put the color in before I poured it. I don't know why. I had it ready and I poured my candle and put it aside and I started working on these guys. And I all of a sudden was like, oh, I didn't put any color in. So I ended up putting drops directly into the candle and I stirred it in slow-mo until I wanted to die. Like I wanted to die. But I feel like I got a decent color mix. However, there's like a ring of yellow. I don't know if you can see it right at the edge of the vessel. So I've never done that before. So we're going to see what happens, if that makes any difference in any way. But first what we're going to do is I'm going to plug in my heat gun. I don't need you anymore. You can skedaddle. Merci. Okay, so I have a little heat gun here. It is by no means powerful or industrial in any stretch of the imagination, but it is going to make quite a ruckus. So prepare thyself. And before we do that, we're going to demold these guys. So I'm going to use you. Cute. That's a cute little spider. All right, Skull. Ooh, that came out really nice. Lots of definition. Let's get the white spider out too. I don't think I'm going to use it though. I feel like the black is the way to go. I also really love that when you over pour like this, it's so easy to clean them up, especially if you have like a toothpick. I'm not even going to use this one, but just to say, like you just poke right onto the spot you want it to cut off and it'll just break off. And then you can clean it up. Simple and easy. Breaks up. Considering it's pillar and you're like, well, it's not cement. It's wax. Okay. And we also need at least one bat. Oh, what happened to this bat? It looks like I think I must have double poured it. It looks creepy AF. It's like I made two of them and stuck them together. Let's see if this guy's better. No, it's poured the same way. Oh, you know what? It might be just the shape of the mold. But And then I had only a tiny bit left and I made this tiny one. It's a little baby. He's a skinny baby. All right. Well, I might as well just finish demolding these while I'm here. Awesome. Bueno. Silicone molds for the win. So, hey, chill out. Okay, so I'm going to use you, and you. You guys, see you later. Thanks for coming out. Maybe next time. Appreciate your attendance. All right. Those three and some bubbles. Before we do anything, let's plan a little bit because once you heat the top and melt it down, it's a race against the clock. Okay, and then we'll do some bubbles. Oh, you got to be careful with that. Because if that was like melted wax on top, this isn't going, that's not going well. Maybe I can't use this one. It may be too small for my man hands. Like, look at the chaos you just caused. Chaos. Yeah, that looks cute. And then I could probably do more over here. Okay, these bubbles in general are just going to be feisty AF. Or should I put it between these guys? All right. What do you think? Is it too much? It doesn't matter if it's too much, frankly, because as soon as I light this, these guys are going to start melting, like in no time. I feel like maybe it might be too many bubbles. Okay. Everybody out. We begin. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. I am going to go ahead and hit this with my heat gun. Also, you can see there's a lot of cracking on the top of my candle here. Most likely because I made this candle in my basement and my basement is very cold and it's not curing at a reasonable temperature all around because of that. But I always make my candles in my basement, so I always work around it by heating my tops. So if I wasn't going to put a topper on this candle, I would still be using my heat gun just to smooth out that top layer, especially if I was giving it to somebody. If I was just going to burn it myself, I wouldn't care because it's going to melt. All right. Here we go. Let's party. Normally, I would not be heating the whole thing at the same time. I'd be doing it like maybe half and half. But because there are these cracks on the top of this, I do want to smooth it out anyway. And I might even let it solidify a tiny bit before I start putting my toppers in because it's going to... You don't want your layer of wax on top to be too thick, like melted. You don't want it to be too thick because then you're going to put your embeds in and they're going to be, I mean, these embeds are thick, so it wouldn't really matter actually. Okay, that's good. That is a nice even. So let's drop it in. I wonder what's going to happen, but it might melt my melts. It might melt my toppers. We're going to see. Okay, I'm going to put this here. Okay. I want you on an angle. Let's do bubbles now. Okay. Ooh, I barely held on to that with my nails. Spider. Do I want to put more bubbles? Should I put some over there? I mean, it's not really necessary, but I'm gonna, because why not? Oh, actually, I think it's solidified now. Okay, I'm not going to then. Less is more sometimes, Mary. Okay, I'm gonna let that harden a little tiny bit more. And then we are going to trim down this wick and light this candle, because why not? Really, why not? Then we go full circle. We have gone from melted wax to, just move these out of the way, to a completed or currently curing candle, the one we just poured. And as you can see, these are already, this I'm sure is fully cured. I could pop these out right now, but I'm going to leave them. And I'm going to leave these guys too. Yeah, this is pretty much solidified now on top. So now these aren't going to move anywhere. Cute, right? My little witch's brew. Okay, I'm going to cut this wick and we're going to light this guy. So actually, before I do that, the reason I really wanted to wait for this moment to cut the wick rather than cut it ahead of time is because of the height of the embedments that I have as my toppers here. See, you can see that they give at least like that much height on each one, which is not a huge amount of wax, but it's enough wax that it could ultimately put out my wick if I cut it too close to the surface of the candle. So to avoid that, I left the wick tall, and my plan is to line up my cut with the level of the skull. I don't want to move this too much because it hasn't fully solidified that top coat, but still, I want to line those guys up. So I'm going to use my Wick Thermometer. Oh my God. Oh my God. That almost went in the candle and I would have expired on the spot. Because, like, come on. Okay. All right, toppers. I hope you enjoyed your 30 seconds of your moment, because now I'm going to mount you almost immediately after your debut. Apologies to you, your family, and all of your people. All right. Okay. Do I need to light this side? So right now, this is a very tall wick. And it is entirely possible that because I cut it so high to give myself leeway when the toppers melt, first of all, it's going to have an insane flame, which you can see. But if it doesn't get to the wax in time to sustain this flame, it's gonna put itself out anyway. So we'll see. But no, it is going nicely. I personally enjoy watching toppers melt, so I'm gonna leave this to melt a little bit, and we can enjoy that together. I just won't be doing a lot of talking during this time. This is one of the things that I am so drawn to candle making about, and why I make wreaths and why I dot paint and why I make candles. It's for the zen, the tranquility, this moment right here of watching the spider bleed. Oh, that sounds terrible. I sound like a horrible person. I want to see the spider bleed. And this girl. I just really enjoy watching toppers melt because it's really mesmerizing. I'm not sure if you can hear it. I'm going to turn off my heater and I'm going to stay as silent as I can. And I want to see if you can hear the crackling from this wick. Can you hear it? It really does sound like a crackling fireplace. I mean, on a much smaller scale, obviously. Okay, the skull is... Ugh. You're not doing well, senor. You've seen better days. Yeah, this is a really, really nice fragrance. Vanilla Emberwood. So Village says that the flash point is 93 degrees Celsius. I honestly, I'm not joking. I know that you should pay attention to things like flash point, but I generally don't all that much because the likelihood of it being an issue while I'm making my candles is pretty low. It's like next level of low. Yeah. It's a really nice scent. I highly recommend you check it out. And give it a whirl because it's really nice. It has that lovely sweet vanilla, but with a really deep smoky vibe to it. So this is a really nice, this worked out really lovely for this candle because it's the perfect like scent pairing to this visual of a witch's cauldron with a crackling wood wick and this smoky fragrance. It's so nice. Let's see. Oh boy, everybody's having some troubles here, eh? We've got a half a skeleton face or skull. The bat's about to be amputated fully. Half a bubble's gone. And Senor Spider is hobbling on, only 4 of his 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his 8 original legs. He didn't have 8 legs, did he? 1, 2, 3, yeah. It's a really relaxing. This is one of those things where, you light a candle like this and you pull out, either you could pop in a scary movie for Halloween, which would be super fun. Or probably something I would do is like read a suspense book or a murder mystery or something cool. Something bloody and Halloween-y. So the thing about candles and lighting a new candle is that this is a time commitment. So I lit this candle and now I need to commit at minimum 2 to 3 hours of time to make sure that I can get a nice level melt pool. In a perfect world, I would like my melt pool to reach the vessel walls completely. So no ring around the rosy. especially up here because there is it's more robust and curvy on the bottom. So it's going to need to melt a little further to get to the edges on this side. Look at this. I burned my finger when I made the wreath the other night, and look what happened. I'm not over it. I'm bitter about it, frankly. Anyway, I'm hopeful that this candle, this wick is going to get me all the way across side to side down here. But it's very possible that because of the curvature of the mug, that just the heat will get trapped a little more and will help it melt anyway. So it should be bueno. Is this chipped? A little tiny bit, I think. That's a bummer. So yeah, I'm going to let this guy burn for at least another hour or so, maybe 2. But I am not going to leave this video running that long. I think we'll take a couple more minutes to enjoy the flicker. Shall we? Let's. Okay, I think we have massacred enough of these guys to know that this candle is going to rock and roll. So I'm excited to see that it melts all the way across, but it's looking like it will. We got halfway through the bat already, almost halfway through the spider, and almost halfway through the skull. And one of these bubbles is sayonara. So I think this is going to be very successful. So I'm pleased about that. And hopefully the one we poured together is going to be equally as successful. So cross those fingers of yours and let's hope that that is the case. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this live, you'll find tons and tons of beginner-friendly videos on my channel. From candle making and wax melts to some other cozy, cute little DIY projects that you can try at home. So don't forget to check them out. You're going to enjoy them, trust me. And I'll see you in the next live. At least I hope I will. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo.